Hey, it's Ted McGrath. So if you're still selling 2K and 5K packages and you're working way too hard for way too little. So with one little shift, I'm going to show you in today's video how you can go from 2 or 5K packages to 30K, 50K, 100K packages. So whether you're a coach, a consultant, an expert, a service business, I'm going to show you exactly how we're doing it in our business. All right, so let's jump right in, and I'm going to walk you through a model right now to show you how we package up offers very, very simply, and then how we explain them to sell them in a high ticket way. Now, the biggest challenge that I see that most coaches and consultants make is, number one, instead of selling outcomes or selling the customer on their number one goal, they're trying to pitch the program or the service. And so the best thing you can do to increase your pricing is to get the client sold on multiple outcomes and how your service or your program relates to multiple outcomes in their life. And I'm going to show you exactly how we do this. Now, this is the difference between 6-figure earners and 7-figure earners. What I'm going to share in this video, same strategies I've used to sell group programs, online courses, nearly 50 million in sales with these exact concepts. So I'm going to dive in right now. And if you're new to the channel, this is a brand new channel. We completely scratched the old channel. It got taken over by Bitcoin and strategy in the crypto world, and that channel's blowing up. So I started a new channel specifically for you. All right, so let's jump in right now and talk about it. So number one, if you're looking on the screen, this is a basic offer that I have created in my business. And this same concept, although this sells as a course for thousands of dollars, the same concept of this packaged properly into a different type of program that's a scalable offer, that's a higher ticket offer, can go for $30,000, $50,000. And I'm going to show you how. Okay. So the first thing that we look at is when you're creating a high ticket program, you need to have about 5 to 7 steps that you're going to share with the customer. So if you take an inventory of the things that you teach, you're going to write down 5 to 7 things that you teach. But the first thing you need to know is who your target audience is. So when we're working, we have 4 segments of people that we work with: elite coaches and consultants making 100,000 to 500,000, high value service providers or service businesses that want to escape the one-to-one model and they want to get into scalable offers. And we work with personal brands and content creators that are not yet selling premium packages of $10,000, $30,000, or $50,000. And we also work with experts, professionals in transition who have expertise and want to package up their knowledge and experience. So we're marketing different things at different times, and we're very focused on these types of niches. So because we're going after multi-6-figure and multi-7-figure business owners, the outcomes for them are very different than somebody who's actually totally brand new. So when I'm packaging up an offer, I think of the target audience first, of who I'm speaking to, number one. And then the second thing that I think about is, what are the outcomes that I'm going to produce for this person? So you see on the screen right now, this is my mock-up here of 5 things that we typically help a customer with, and we keep it super, super, super simple. Now, the way that we sell high ticket with this is pretty basic. Now, the most overlooked thing in high ticket pricing or high ticket programs is what I call the non-negotiables. People often want to skip into the thing that's sexy, the thing that's attractive. I want to teach you how to launch a funnel right out of the gates, right? And they want to sell that. Or I'm going to teach you how to get 9 million social media followers, and they want to teach that. So people want the sexy, they want the attractive thing, but that's not actually what creates high ticket. What creates high ticket is what I call selling the non-negotiables in your program or your service. So if you look on the screen here, here's the non-negotiables for me. Number one, any business that we're working with that I just mentioned, the first thing that they need is they need a life story and they need a message. Because the brands that want to scale online, which we work with a ton of them, we've reached 50 million people online in our business alone. And we worked with lots and lots and lots of customers, 60,000 customers. And so the number one thing that they're lacking before they go online is a story and a message. And if they don't have a clear message and they don't have a clear niche, then at the end of the day, they're not going to convert online. So when we're offering something up to a client and we're going to pitch a premium package or a high ticket offer, the number one thing I do is, with step number 1 of our system, I relate it to their number one goal. So you can't sell high ticket if you don't know the customer's number one goal. And so what I do is I take a step in my blueprint or process and I link it to the customer's number one goal. So what we're doing in high ticket selling is we're selling goals, not products and services. We're selling the customer on their goal. My coach, Dan Sullivan, told me years ago, he said, Ted, look in this room full of people. There were 7-figure, 8-figure producers. I was 22 years old. And he said, Ted, you want to know why I have a job? And I said, why? He said, these are some of the most successful people in their industries. And even the most successful people are not sold on their own bigger future. And so what I realized from that situation is in sales, you have to sell people on their number one goal. You have to sell them on their future. And so when you sell them on their goal, they're going to pay more for their goal and they're going to pay more for their outcomes. And that's what you need to sell them on. So step number one of my blueprint about finding your message, I would never say to a customer, hey, step number one is finding your life story and message. Great. Does that make sense? Let's go on to step number two. I would say step number one, finding your life story and message, is the first step of our blueprint. How would that help you achieve your number one goal? And in selling, you never say, does that make sense as the main statement or question? Because if I say, does that make sense? You're like, yeah, I got it. Right? So you got to know that the audience is engaged with you. Even when I'm speaking to large rooms full of people, I'm engaging and communicating with the audience. So if I'm doing this one-on-one, I go, step one is finding your life story and message. How would this help you achieve your number one goal? And if they told me their number one goal is they want to get to $10 million a year in their business, I go, how would step number one of finding your message and your story to attract your perfect client help you achieve your goal of making $10 million? And I shut up and I listen. And the key to getting people to actually invest more is showing them value. The value is there. The problem is most of the time you have not uncovered the value in your products and services, because here's what happens. If you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're an expert, if you're a personal brand, if you're a creator, you're looking at the situation, you're going, oh, it's just me. This is what I naturally do. Like for me, I could teach speaking like it's falling off a log. It's that easy. I've been doing speaking for 20 years. So when you're teaching stuff to people, typically, from your perspective, what you do and your value, you often discount because you walk around all throughout life and you're like, hey, blah, 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 and you're giving it away for free. You're telling people things for free that you're just naturally good at. And they're blown away, but you're like, oh, that's just me. That's what I do. But they're totally blown away. So if you start looking at the value that you have to offer without putting it down on paper, like I'm showing you on the screen right now, if here's the step and here's my knowledge and wisdom and experience that I can teach, if you don't put it down on paper and look at it objectively and you just look at your value subjectively, you go, oh, what should I price what I'm doing? You're going to discount your value because you just naturally do it. You're that good at it. You're super talented. You have amazing knowledge and expertise. You've been doing it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you just naturally give it away and you don't think anything of it. So one of the reasons why people discount their pricing and they don't think anything of it is because they do it all the time and they just give it to people and it's a natural thing. So natural things don't come hard to you. They're easy. So naturally you think you should naturally just give it to people. No, you should charge premium pricing for it. So you have to put it down on paper and you have to show people the steps of your blueprint to go, great, step number one is this, because I could sit here all day long and somebody could tell me about their client and somebody could tell me about what they're doing and I could craft messages in 60 seconds and help people crush it. But most people can't do that. So in step one, when I'm teaching this to somebody, I say, how would this help you achieve your number one goal? And the key is I don't just link it to, let's say, their personal life or their business. I link it to their personal life, their business, their finances, their relationships, the vacations they want to take, the outcomes they want. I relate it to all different aspects of their life. And so if we're just selling a product or a service in a silo, and we're just selling a product and service as, hey, get this thing because it's going to help with this thing. Like, I'm a chiropractor. Let me help you get out of pain. No, if I'm a chiropractor and I help you get out of pain, you're going to feel more energized. You're going to feel happier. You're going to be more productive at work. You're going to make more money. And at the end of the day, you're going to go out and you're going to help a lot more people. And you're going to feel fulfilled and you're going to go home with your family. You're going to feel really, really excited when you get home and you have energy for your kids, because that's the outcome through all areas of the life. And that's why people aren't charging premium prices or high ticket, because they're not relating it to the whole aspect of the customer's life. And they're not targeting the right people. I know this. I took a chiropractor, service business, was charging $50 an hour, completely revamped his ideal market and who he was targeting and the outcomes of what he was delivering. And we took him from $50 an hour to $2,500 to tickets to his live retreat. And then eventually to $30,000 and $75,000 and $100,000 services. Okay. His business went from $200,000 to $4 million over the course of several years. So with that said, super, 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 super important that you relate your step in your blueprint of what you're selling, such as step number one here of story and message, and you relate it to the customer's goal and the outcomes that's going to produce. The key word is outcomes. If you are not talking about multiple outcomes of what your product delivers, you are going to undervalue and undersell what you're doing. Also, if you sit yourself in the frame of the industry that you're in and you box yourself in this industry, it goes a lot for health providers, financial advisors, people in business services. You just look at the industry, and the industry standardly does this. Like financial advisors, we help people get 10% rates of return, and you're missing out on all the other outcomes you deliver, which are 10, 15 other outcomes, which is why you aren't packaging your knowledge and experience, which is why as financial advisors, oftentimes you're actually getting paid on commissions only, and you should be packaging your knowledge and experience, and you should be selling that in coaching programs and courses, and also selling products on the back end. And that's why you're leaving millions and millions of dollars on the table. I know, because I was a financial advisor. So when you box yourself into an industry, industries tend to discount what they're doing and only solve one problem. And they focus on that problem or that pain point, and they sell that. And that would discount your pricing by 5, 10 times. And you don't want to do that. So number one, that's how you do it. You go into step one of your process. And then when you're done with step one and you've helped them see the value, you go something like this. Hey, so step number one alone of finding your message, ultimately, like, how would that help you achieve your number one goal? And they're like, oh my God, it would help me with this. How else would that help you? How else would that help you? Tell me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more. And they're telling you all these reasons. And then you say, don't you see right now how just finding this message that would help you go online, that would help you attract your perfect client, that would help you charge more, that would help you actually go on vacations with your family, that would help you make the $1 million you want to make in 6 months, that would help you do X, Y, Z, help you do all those things. Don't you think, see how step one would be worth the investment in this alone? And that's literally connecting your program to the outcomes and the goals that they want. And it's really, really that simple. Now, when you look at the structure of how you're going to do this, I'm going to give you the basic structure because this is just the steps. But then you look at the structure of how you structure high ticket scalable offers. And high ticket scalable offers are structured in a very, very simple way. Most people are used to doing one-to-one, but it's not scalable. And most people are charging by the hour, not scalable. And you got lots of service businesses that are charging for services where it requires a lot of their work. Well, people want content and they want knowledge. So if you're not selling group programs or online courses and you're not packaging it all together into what I call a hybrid model, and the hybrid model is this: teach an 8 to 10 week group coaching program where you show up live like I'm teaching right now, record that, turn it into an online course that you package in with it, with the recordings, add a 2-day event or mastermind at the end of that. And if you want to add in a little bit of private coaching with your coaches or consultants or somebody in your service business, add that in as well. So now you got a hybrid model that has group coaching, online course attached, 2-day event, and ultimately has a little bit of private coaching or no private coaching, and you can charge $10,000 for that offer. How do I know? Because we sold tons and tons and tons of these offers. We charge around $13,000 for an offer like that in terms of the structure. So if you don't have that structure, you can't scale it. So either me or one of my coaches could show up and deliver that to 15 people in a group coaching program. And that group coaching program is worth $200,000 for me to deliver, once a week for 8 to 10 weeks. Pretty simple, right? And if you have a leverageable model like I do, where I have coaches and consultants, we're selling things and that my coaches and consultants are delivering, and I'm not doing anything except maybe some of the group stuff that I do in terms of group masterminds or showing up at some events. So this becomes a scalable model that's also high ticket, you see? And the biggest thing that people are missing in high ticket is what I just gave you right now is a 90 to 100-day program. So a 90 to 100-day program, it's like, great, you sell the 10K or the 15K 90 to 100 days, and then people are like, okay, I'm done. No. And the biggest mistake, here's the biggest mistake of why people aren't selling 30, 50, or 100K is really simple, is because when you look at this process here, I'm going to help you find your message. I'm going to help you package and price a scalable offer. Oh, by the way, if you want to go book a call, you can book down below. If you want help from one of my coaches on your message, on packaging up your offers, and you want to see the whole system of how we do this, click the link down below. Get on the phone with one of my coaches. We will help you for free and literally help you map out what it is that you're missing, what challenges you're facing, and get you on the path to high ticket success, and also get you on the path to creating a high ticket funnel that brings in high ticket clients. Okay. Because as I go through this entire offer with my customers, and I talked about message, I talked about packaging a scalable offer, I talked to them about the high ticket sales system, which is right here. And then we get into phase 2, which is about building a high ticket funnel. All this stuff is not just a 90-day process. So what we're typically selling in the 90 to 100-day process is the first 3 steps of the system, which are like the non-negotiables that they must have to succeed. Like without a message, without a scalable program, and without a high ticket sales system, nobody's going to succeed online who's a coach, consultant, service business, or expert. Nobody's going to succeed because you got to have a high ticket sales system. You got to have a scalable offer, and you got to have a message. Otherwise, nobody's going to buy your stuff. And if somebody does click on your stuff, you're not going to be able to sell it if you don't have a sales system. So the first 3 they must have. So in 90 to 120 days, we're helping them implement that. But then when we go to phase 2, the high ticket funnel, we work with people throughout the year on implementing the high ticket funnel into their business. So that's how we take them from a $10,000 or $15,000 program all the way up to a $30,000 or $100,000 program. Make sense? Now, early in my career, when I was doing one-on-one consulting, I was charging $200,000 to work with me one-on-one with a piece of equity in the company. I have not done one-on-one consulting in probably 6 years now. It's been about 6 years since I've done one-on-one consulting. So our model is just group and scalable, right? But when you go to the one-on-one model, if you're going to do some one-on-one consulting with you, you can easily turn that into a group program that's a year long. You don't have to do one-on-one, and you take them from the 90 to 100-day program to a year-long program, and that's where you're charging the $30,000, the $50,000, or the $100,000, depending on how you structure it. And again, phase 2 here in my blueprint, an AI-powered high-ticket funnel, while we can build a funnel for somebody in a short period of time, which we do for our customers, to get them to optimize the funnel, to get the leads coming in, to get the book calls coming up, that's not going to happen in 90 days. That's why we have people with a year who join us for a year. And that's how we create higher ticket premium offers that are valued higher in price. And so the thing I would suggest to you is when you're doing this, don't try and cram too much into a 90-day program, because you have to teach people on a gradient. And that means the grade level that they're at. If my clients are in grade 0 and grade 1 and grade 2, or call it kindergarten, and I'm trying to teach college, I'm going to cause a spin and confuse them. And they're just going to they're not going to do anything. So don't go too fast, go thoroughly into the basic stuff. That should be your 90, 100-day program. And then after that, you go into the year-long system that's kind of like creating the permanent results, the long-term results, the system that you're going to implement for them, the thing that you're going to do for them, the thing that you're going to help them with in hands-on attention, whatever it's going to be for you. Okay. Hope this serves you. If you want help on this, whether you're like, hey, Ted, I need a high ticket offer. I need to package my program in a more scalable way. Hey, I need to tweak my message because I'm failing with my ads online. Or at the end of the day, you just want to grow your audience and build a high ticket funnel, you should click the link down below and talk to somebody on my team. Ultimately, we find that people aren't scaling for 3 reasons. One, they're failing online because they don't have their message and their perfect client dialed in. Number 2, they don't ROI online because they don't have a high ticket offer to sell to. And they either stop at like a 2K offer, or they stop at a 5 or 10, and they don't have the 30, the 50, or the 100. Okay. So if you had the 30 or the 50, you would take your ROI and you double your ROI. So it's just not having the right scalable business model and high ticket offer, which is why you're typically not going to succeed with ads online, is the second point. And then the third point is, if you don't have a good sales team, like I have a sales team, bunch of setters, bunch of closers. If you don't have a good sales team, your ROI is going to stink online and you're not going to be good at it. Okay. So that's the basic of what I'm sharing here. So if you need help on any of that, click down below, get on the phone with my coaches. They'll help you. If you like what you have to see, we have options at the end of the call. We have all kinds of offers for you that range in a variety of price ranges. But of course, we're looking for successful people, high achieving people, serious people who know that this is the path they want to go, and literally know that they want to help people, but they want to make a lot of money doing it, and they want a scalable offer to reach millions of people online. If that's you, click down below, book with my team, and I will see you on the other side. Hope this serves you.